The Arctic, a land of ice, snow, and polar bears. For centuries, it was a place of myth and legend, shrouded in mystery and difficult to reach. Today, the Arctic is making headlines for a different reason. The region is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet, causing the ice to melt at an alarming rate. This melting ice is opening up new shipping routes and making the Arctic's vast natural resources more accessible. Countries with Arctic borders, including Canada, Russia, the United States, Norway, and Denmark, are now vying for control of these resources and shipping lanes. This competition has sparked a new era of geopolitical interest in the Arctic. It has also raised important questions about who owns the Arctic and its resources. Understanding these issues is crucial for navigating the complex challenges and opportunities presented by this changing region. The Arctic's transformation from a frozen frontier to a geopolitical hotspot is driven by climate change. As the planet warms, the Arctic is experiencing dramatic effects. This warming trend has led to a rapid decline in sea ice. Melting ice opens new shipping routes and access to resources. Countries are eager to tap into these resources, boosting economies and enhancing energy security. Increased interest has led to cooperation and dialogue, but also concerns about potential conflicts. The future of the Arctic depends on navigating these issues with foresight and collaboration. For centuries, the Arctic remained largely unexplored, a vast expanse of ice and snow. Indigenous peoples thrived, adapting to extreme conditions. European exploration began in the 16th century, seeking trade routes. Expeditions faced treacherous ice, storms, and scurvy. The lure of discovery and economic gain drew explorers northward. Nations asserted claims, leading to disputes and tensions. The discovery of natural resources fueled control desires. Overexploitation led to resource decline, highlighting sustainable management. This lesson resonates today with climate change challenges. The 19th century saw a surge in Arctic exploration, driven by scientific curiosity and national pride. Expeditions led by explorers like Sir John Franklin, Roald Amundsen, and Robert Peary sought to chart the Arctic Ocean, reach the North Pole, and expand scientific knowledge of the region. These expeditions captured the public imagination, inspiring awe and wonder at the beauty and harshness of the Arctic environment. Technological advancements, such as the development of ice-strengthened ships and improved navigation techniques, made it possible to venture further into the Arctic. These expeditions collected valuable scientific data on the Arctic's geography, climate, and marine life, laying the groundwork for our understanding of this unique region. The stories of courage, endurance, and tragedy associated with these expeditions continue to fascinate and inspire generations of explorers and adventurers. The race to reach the North Pole became a symbol of national prestige, with countries vying to be the first to plant their flag at the top of the world. This competition, while driven by scientific and exploratory goals, also reflected the growing geopolitical significance of the Arctic. The Arctic was no longer viewed as an isolated and insignificant region, but as a potential strategic prize. The early 20th century witnessed the consolidation of territorial claims in the Arctic. Canada, for instance, formally claimed sovereignty over the islands and waters of its Arctic archipelago in 1909. Russia, under the Soviet Union, also asserted its control over vast swaths of the Arctic Ocean, including the Northern Sea Route. These claims, however, were often based on historical precedent or geographic proximity, lacking a clear legal framework to govern the division of Arctic territories. Section 3. The Sector Principle. The sector principle, proposed by Canada in 1907, suggested dividing the Arctic into sectors, each extending from a coastal state to the North Pole. This aimed to simplify sovereignty claims, but faced objections, notably from the United States. The principle influenced Arctic claims, but also highlighted the complexities and potential conflicts in the region. Section 4. Modern disputes emerge. The Cold War heightened the Arctic's geopolitical significance. Its strategic location made it a potential battleground. Both superpowers established military bases. Significant oil and gas reserves fueled interest. Offshore drilling technology increased economic activity. Maritime boundaries were disputed. The Barents Sea saw disputes between Norway and Russia. The Arctic's significance persisted post-Cold War. Climate change opened new shipping routes. Renewed focus on the Arctic's economic importance. The Arctic Council addresses environmental and scientific issues. It promotes cooperation among Arctic states, but it doesn't resolve boundary disputes or security issues. Section 1. The Law of the Sea. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, governs ocean use and resources. It establishes maritime zones like territorial waters, EEZs, and the continental shelf. Coastal states have rights and obligations within these zones. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, shapes the Arctic's legal landscape. Article 76 defines the continental shelf, allowing states to claim resources. Arctic states conduct research to submit claims to the CLCS. The process is complex and time-consuming. Overlapping claims create potential disputes. The Arctic Ocean, once a remote wasteland, is now a geopolitical hotspot due to its resource wealth and strategic importance. As climate change melts the ice cap, new shipping routes and resource extraction opportunities arise, leading to increased focus from Canada, Denmark, Norway, Russia, and the United States on asserting their rights. The main contention is the overlapping claims to the continental shelf, especially beyond 200 nautical miles from the coastline. Under UNCLOS, coastal states can exploit their continental shelf resources, but overlapping claims complicate this. A notable example is the Lomonosov Ridge, claimed by both Russia and Denmark as an extension of their continental shelves. Canada also claims a portion of the Arctic seabed, overlapping with Russian and Danish claims. These overlapping claims could create diplomatic tensions and complicate sustainable resource management. Another contentious area is the Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Canadian Arctic archipelago. Canada claims it as internal waters, while the United States argues it's an international strait open to all ships. This disagreement has led to diplomatic incidents, highlighting the need for a clear resolution to prevent future conflicts. The Arctic has emerged as a region of significant geopolitical importance in the 21st century. Melting ice caps have opened new shipping routes and made natural resources more accessible. This transformation has increased interest and activity from both Arctic and non-Arctic states, raising the stakes for cooperation. Historically characterized by cooperation, the Arctic now faces potential conflicts over resources and strategic interests. Recognizing the need for responsible management, Arctic states have committed to dialogue and cooperation through forums like the Arctic Council. Established in 1996, the Arctic Council includes Canada, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Russia, Sweden, and the United States. The Council promotes cooperation on sustainable development, environmental protection, and the well-being of Arctic indigenous peoples. Operating on consensus, the Council reflects a shared interest in maintaining peace and stability. While it doesn't address hard security issues, it provides a platform for dialogue and joint initiatives on common concerns. The Council's working groups tackle issues like climate change, biodiversity, and sustainable development. By fostering cooperation, the Arctic Council builds trust and understanding among Arctic states. Beneath the Arctic Ocean lies a treasure trove of natural resources, including energy reserves, minerals, and fish stocks. As climate change warms the region, these resources are becoming more accessible, attracting global attention. The Arctic holds vast reserves of oil and natural gas, representing a significant percentage of the world's undiscovered reserves. These energy resources, concentrated offshore, offer potential economic benefits but present technological and environmental challenges. The harsh conditions and fragile ecosystem make resource extraction risky, with potential for accidents and spills. The Arctic is also rich in minerals like zinc, iron ore, nickel, diamonds, and rare earth elements essential for various industries. Mining in the Arctic requires significant investment and careful planning to ensure economic viability and environmental responsibility. The Arctic Ocean's cold waters support a diverse ecosystem, including valuable fish stocks. Climate change is shifting fish populations northward, creating new opportunities for fisheries. Sustainable management and international cooperation are crucial to prevent overfishing and protect the ecosystem. The Arctic's resources offer economic opportunities, but require careful management to balance development and environmental protection. The Arctic faces unprecedented environmental challenges as climate change accelerates ice melt and opens new areas to human activity. Resource extraction offers economic benefits but raises concerns about environmental damage and disruption to the fragile ecosystem. Oil spills are a major concern, with harsh conditions making spill response and cleanup difficult. An oil spill in the Arctic could have devastating impacts on marine life, coastal communities, and indigenous livelihoods. The 2010 Deepwater Horizon disaster highlights the potential consequences of offshore drilling accidents. Climate change itself poses a direct threat to the Arctic environment, causing sea levels to rise and endangering species like polar bears and seals. The loss of sea ice disrupts traditional hunting and fishing practices of indigenous communities. Increased shipping traffic brings risks like ship strikes, noise pollution, and invasive species. The potential for accidents, including groundings and collisions, increases with higher shipping traffic. The Arctic's environmental challenges require robust safety and environmental regulations. International cooperation is essential to address these challenges and protect the Arctic ecosystem. Sustainable development practices must balance economic opportunities with environmental protection. Indigenous knowledge and perspectives are invaluable for informing sustainable development. The Arctic's future depends on responsible management and international collaboration. The Arctic is transforming as climate change unlocks its economic potential, presenting opportunities and challenges. The region's abundant oil and gas reserves attract interest from energy companies, but face logistical and technological hurdles. Harsh conditions and remote locations make Arctic development costly and complex. The Arctic is also rich in minerals essential for various industries, attracting global interest. Mining in the Arctic requires significant investment in infrastructure and logistics. New Arctic shipping routes offer potential to reduce shipping times and costs between Asia, Europe, and North America. These routes could transform global trade patterns and create new opportunities for shipping companies. However, Arctic shipping raises concerns about safety, environmental protection, and indigenous communities. Responsible development is crucial to balance economic opportunities with environmental protection. International cooperation is essential to address the challenges of Arctic development. The Arctic's future depends on sustainable practices that respect the environment and indigenous rights. The Arctic stands at a crossroads, balancing economic opportunities with environmental protection and indigenous rights. Sustainable development emphasizes meeting present needs without compromising future generations. This approach recognizes the interconnectedness of economic development, environmental protection, and social equity. International cooperation is essential for promoting sustainable development in the Arctic. The Arctic Council provides a forum for dialogue and collaboration on common challenges. The Council's work on climate change, biodiversity, and emergency preparedness is crucial for a resilient Arctic. Engaging indigenous communities in decision-making is paramount for sustainable development. Indigenous knowledge and perspectives are invaluable for informing sustainable practices. Technological innovation plays a key role in minimizing the environmental footprint of Arctic development. Developing technologies that improve energy efficiency and reduce emissions is crucial. The Arctic's future depends on responsible management and international collaboration. Sustainable development practices must balance economic opportunities with environmental protection. The Arctic's future depends on responsible management and international collaboration. The Arctic is home to vibrant indigenous cultures with a deep connection to the land and sea. Indigenous peoples have thrived in this challenging environment for millennia, developing unique traditions and knowledge systems. Their history is one of stewardship, living in harmony with nature and respecting the delicate balance of the ecosystem. From the Inuit to the Sami, indigenous communities have a profound understanding of the Arctic's rhythms and sensitivities. Their traditional knowledge encompasses information about flora, fauna, ice conditions, and sustainable practices. This knowledge is essential for the well-being of these communities and the Arctic ecosystem. The relationship between indigenous peoples and the environment is deeply spiritual, recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things. Traditional beliefs emphasize respect for the spirits of animals and the land. Indigenous cultures have faced previous environmental changes, adapting their lifestyles and practices. However, the rapid pace of climate change and globalization presents unprecedented challenges. Indigenous communities are demonstrating resilience and adaptability in the face of these challenges. They are advocating for their rights and promoting sustainable development models. Indigenous voices are becoming increasingly prominent in international forums, recognizing their importance in addressing Arctic challenges. The Arctic is warming at twice the global average, with profound implications for indigenous communities. Melting sea ice disrupts travel routes, hunting grounds, and food sources. Coastal erosion threatens homes, infrastructure, and cultural sites. The impacts of climate change are deeply social, cultural, and economic. Decline in traditional food sources affects food security and erodes cultural practices. Loss of hunting grounds and travel difficulties lead to social isolation and loss of cultural identity. Indigenous communities are demonstrating resilience and adaptability. They are developing innovative solutions for housing, transportation, and food security. Indigenous knowledge complements scientific data for a holistic understanding of climate change impacts. Indigenous communities are active agents of change, advocating for their rights and protecting their cultural heritage. Their voices are becoming increasingly prominent in international forums. Indigenous knowledge and perspectives are essential for addressing Arctic challenges. The Arctic's future depends on responsible management and international collaboration. The international community has increasingly recognized the importance of indigenous participation in Arctic governance. The Arctic Council, the leading intergovernmental forum for Arctic issues, grants permanent participant status to 6 indigenous organizations, acknowledging their unique role and perspectives in shaping the region's future. This recognition reflects a growing understanding that sustainable Arctic governance must be inclusive, respecting the rights, knowledge, and aspirations of those who have called the Arctic home for millennia. Indigenous peoples bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to Arctic governance, providing valuable insights into the region's ecosystems, climate change impacts, and sustainable resource management practices. Their traditional knowledge, often overlooked in the past, is now recognized as a valuable complement to scientific data, providing a more holistic and nuanced understanding of the Arctic environment and the potential consequences of human activities. Beyond their knowledge, indigenous peoples bring a unique set of values and perspectives to Arctic governance. Their emphasis on stewardship, intergenerational equity, and the interconnectedness of all living things challenges the often extractive and short-term perspectives that have dominated resource management in the past. Their voices are essential for ensuring that Arctic development benefits not only current generations, but also future generations, respecting the delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem. The inclusion of indigenous peoples in Arctic governance is not merely a matter of fairness or representation. It is essential for effective and sustainable decision-making. By incorporating indigenous knowledge, values, and perspectives into Arctic governance frameworks, we can move towards a more equitable, just, and sustainable future for the region, one that respects the rights and aspirations of all who call the Arctic home. The Arctic is at a crossroads, facing unprecedented challenges and opportunities. Climate change, resource development, and geopolitical tensions converge here. Cooperation, sustainability, and indigenous rights are key to its future. The Arctic's fate is intertwined with the planet's well-being. The Arctic region stands as a poignant symbol of the challenges and opportunities facing our world today. It is a region in flux, its once pristine landscapes and icy expanse transforming rapidly under the relentless advance of climate change. The melting ice unveils a complex web of geopolitical tensions, environmental concerns, and the enduring presence of indigenous cultures deeply connected to this fragile ecosystem. The allure of the Arctic's vast natural resources has drawn the attention of nations and industries worldwide. The potential economic benefits of Arctic development are undeniable. However, this pursuit must be tempered by a sober recognition of the potential consequences for a region already grappling with the impacts of a warming climate. The environmental stakes in the Arctic are high. The melting ice cap threatens the habitats of iconic Arctic species. The rising sea levels pose a direct threat to coastal communities, while the thawing permafrost releases methane, further accelerating climate change. The delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem is at risk of being irrevocably disrupted. Amidst these challenges, the indigenous peoples of the Arctic stand as beacons of resilience and wisdom. For generations, they have thrived in this demanding environment, their cultures and livelihoods intrinsically linked to the land and sea. Their traditional knowledge offers invaluable insights into understanding and adapting to the changing Arctic environment. Their voices are essential for charting a sustainable and equitable course for the region. The Arctic, while geographically remote, is not isolated from the rest of the world. The decisions made in the Arctic will have far-reaching consequences, impacting the global community. The Arctic's fate is intertwined with our own, its ice cap playing a crucial role in regulating global climate patterns. Its ecosystems provide vital habitats for migratory species. Indigenous cultures offer unique perspectives on human resilience and adaptation. The urgency of the challenges facing the Arctic demands a collective response, embracing global stewardship. The challenges facing the Arctic are daunting, but they are not insurmountable. The future of the Arctic is shaped by our choices today. Embracing sustainability can lead to hope and resilience. We must see the Arctic as a shared home, not a frontier. Protecting the Arctic is a global responsibility. Our choices today will shape the Arctic's legacy. Let us ensure the Arctic remains a place of wonder,